What's up YouTube, Jared RedRacer video. Thanks for joining me for another video today. If this is your first time visiting my channel, however, please hit like and subscribe if you like the following. This is a channel about late model GM performance showcased via my 2016 1SS Camaro Lohla. Late model GM performance is kind of my thing. It always has been for a very long time. I'm good friends with the people at JDP Motorsports, and as such I get to spend a lot of time with them. I do a lot of video and photo stuff for them, and I obviously build my car. So I get to be around it a lot. I feel like this channel is going to be valuable to a lot of people by way of, you're going to get a lot of good information, you're going to see a lot of real world information. JDP and myself race these cars, drive these cars, and drive them hard. We push them until they fail, and then when they fail, we tell you what fails, and we go from there and we rebuild. But if that sounds like your cup of tea or something you'd be interested in following, please guys, like and subscribe. Today's video, however, we have received twin turbos from AGP Turbo. The kit, first of all, was pretty immense. I was pretty blown away at the size of it. 4 humongous boxes packed to the brim with parts for this kit. I'm pretty surprised at the weight of it. I was thinking that going twin turbo was going to make the car lighter than what my Magnuson Supercharger setup is. I'm not convinced that's the case anymore, just by way of the intercooler is a big intercooler and it carries some girth. And the turbos, there's 2 of them, and they carry a little weight. My intake manifold will be a G1, Gertz G1 Pro intake manifold, so that's got a little weight to it. And all those things add up to a little more weight, and so that's one of the things that kind of originally in my mind was like, wow, this is kind of heavy. But I'm not worried. We'll be able to make as much power as we need to overcome that. But just a note, something to mention maybe. But I will say also this. For those of you who maybe think, oh, I can just throw a turbo kit on in my garage, I'll figure it out, you're wrong. You can. I'm not saying none of you guys can, because I know a lot of people out there. Vincent Novello, you guys probably know him, got to go racing. He does all his own stuff, and he's got a car that is very, very formidable for a self-built car. I mean, there's a lot of guys who know what they're doing out there, and so I know some of you can, but what I'm getting at is if you're one of the guys that's like, maybe I could do that, you can't. If there's even a question, you can't.
Lucky for me, I don't have to worry about it.
You just gotta write the check.
Oh my gosh, that is insane.
I don't know what the part count is in this kit, and I don't have enough time to count it. So I love you guys, but I'm not doing it. But there's a lot. I mean, there's a freaking lot of parts in this kit. I was astounded at the part count. Hoses and piping, and I mean, it's immense. You know, in your head, you're like, okay, the turbos are down here, you gotta route it and then route up, and yeah, there's cooling, but until you see it all in boxes and in pieces, it doesn't do it justice. I mean, it is immense, the amount of stuff that goes into a twin turbo kit. We are running the EFR, the Borg-Warner EFR 7163s. That's the turbos that Kevin spec'd for my kit. AGP's turbo kit is a bottom mount kit. I do believe that to be the best plan for a multitude of reasons. You guys can go ahead and argue with me in the bottom about why you think top mounts are better. I did do my research and I do see why top mounts are good, but for me and my intended purpose and all those kind of things, we went with the AGP kit, and it's a bottom mount kit. So that's the way we're gonna run it. I'm really, really excited to go twin turbo. I am also, however, very reluctant to go twin turbo. Because of the journey I've had with this car, it's a little different. I've never had a car that I've been anywhere near this in depth in. I mean, to be honest with you, never in my wildest dreams did I think I'd ever have a Camaro quite like this. I'm building what I believe to be the most well-rounded Camaro in the country. That's what I believe this car is going to be very soon. The twin turbos are a big piece of that puzzle. I do believe the Magnuson Supercharger is absolutely freaking phenomenal. And to anybody out there who's considering buying one, do it. The current setup on the car and the way we did it was a Rotofab intake, a VMAX ported throttle body, the Magnuson turned up to 16 pounds, a forged bottom end, so you don't have to forge the bottom end to make this power, but you should. Cook's long tube headers, methanol injection, and LT4 fueling. And E85. Well, E50 is what we made 772 and 788 on. So 772 horse, 788 foot-pounds of torque to the ground through a Magnuson 2300 with a forged bottom end, all the bolt-ons, heads, cam, everything's done on E50. Couple side notes, I think on E85 we might have run out of fuel. I don't know, because we didn't see a fuel rail pressure drop or anything like that. Air fuel stayed good. There's no indicator we were gonna go lean, but from seeing what everybody else is saying you can make on LT4 stuff safely, I think I got lucky and got really good LT4 stuff or something, because I'm kind of up there with the power. We're only single nozzle methanol injection, alky control methanol injection. So I'm not spraying tons of methanol to make up for air fuel. So far so good, and that's the power we made, and that's how we made it with that Maggie. I love the Maggie. Magnuson, thank you. All the people at Magnuson have been great. And I will continue to say that most people for a street-driven, primarily car, should have a positive displacement supercharger on their car. I still believe that to be true. Heat soak is only a problem if you're sitting around in tons and tons of traffic, and it's only a problem when you want to go run your fastest quarter mile. It's not going to be a problem in daily driving. The car just won't have max power, but it still has tons of power. More power than you'll probably ever use on the street. So if you're asking me if you should use Magnuson superchargers, absolutely. I would probably do it again. And who knows? Maybe I don't love twin turbos, and maybe I pull them off and sell them, and I go back to the Magnuson and I go to the 2650 blower. I don't know. But I like Magnuson that much. I was trying to illustrate how much I love Magnuson there, and hopefully I got that point across. But again, I want the most well-rounded Camaro in the country, and there's a couple more things I need to do that. We do have Detroit Speed, JRI, and I believe Ultimate Performance helps with the tuning or the setup of them. JJ Ferrillo's been great from there. But JRI, Detroit Speed, double adjustable coilovers front and rear. We have lowered the car only like 5/16 of an inch, and I barely rub in the rear over real big bumps, so I'm probably gonna just put it back at stock ride height. I run a 315 and it fits the wheel wells, fills them up really good, so I don't really need to be lowered. But that's kind of where we're at with that, suspension wise. And then for all the subframe and all the arms and links, it's all changed out. We're on BMR for all of that stuff, rod ends for everything. There's almost no rubber left in the suspension. That's a blessing and a curse. The car definitely transfers a lot more noise, vibration, and harshness through, but this thing is hooked up. I mean, it's on rails, and when it's at the limit, it communicates incredibly well at the limit. Your car talks to you. And when you get rid of all the rubber and all the stuff in the car that just kind of makes it squishy, and all of that's gone, you get, I mean, the subframe mounts are now solid, and all of the rod ends are solid. There's no rubber, and the sway bar end links are now solid. There's no rubber, and the sway bars are stiffer, and I mean, just all of that transfers through. The Detroit Speed double adjustable coilovers, they have the race mounts also. So now there's no big rubber mount up in the top of your struts and coilover, or struts and shocks. So that's gone. All very good things, but you do give up a little bit of quiet. You do give up a little bit of your road noise. Well, you gain road noise. You give up some of the Cadillac-like qualities that you have by having a Camaro that's an ATS basically with a V8 in it. But I'd make that trade all day long. I've been very happy with that. So suspension-wise and drivetrain-wise, we're going to be completely set up come race season. The twin turbos, like I said, were that next big step. Axles and drive shafts from the drive shaft shop will be going in. We're not going to be launching on a two-step. I'm not going to be launching with a higher stall torque converter. I'm not adding nitrous to get the car out of the hole. So with a twin turbo setup, I'm not going to be leaving crazy hard. So I think the differential will hold up. We'll see. And if it doesn't, you know, we replace it and maybe change our approach. But I think the stock differential is what I'm going to stick with. And I am one of the people who seems like, contrary to popular belief, and oddly enough, it seems like all the people that hate them aren't the people that own them, but I love my 8-speed automatic. It has handled 788 wheel torque through not a ton, but probably 30, 40 passes at the drag strip. Still works like a Swiss watch. I mean, shifts are still strong. It's just never given me any indication that it's not liking the power so far. So I'm sticking with my stock 8-speed too. I know there's some people that build them. Those builds, however, are really expensive. If this transmission breaks, I can probably get another one from GM brand new for cheap enough that I'm not worried about it breaking. I mean, if it breaks, yeah, it's gonna suck, but it's not like it is as bad as I think some people think. I could put a couple or 3 or 4 of the stock transmissions back in this thing before I could rebuild one. So I have a lot of faith in its ability to handle the power to this point. And in the event that it does break, I'll probably give it one more shot. Because I feel like, you know, the turbos will be ultimately a little less hard on it off the line and some things like that. And with tuning, you know, you can control boost at shift points and stuff. So really there are some things I feel like you could do to increase the longevity of the transmission. And so far so good with what we've had. But all of those things lead to this last point. I'm going to be a little bit bold for a minute. In my last video, so the guys of you that watch me frequently know this already maybe. And my last video is not getting a lot of views. So a lot of you probably haven't heard this already. So I feel like I'm pretty safe in restating this. But the channel and the company and the car and just whatever it is, whether it's people hating on me or the car or the YouTube channel or Instagram following or whatever it is, it's definitely reached a new level of like people just coming at me and just being stupid. And I feel like they kind of kept me from being me a little bit. I feel like they kind of kept me in a box a little bit, kept me in a cage and kept me from being me. And I'm not doing that anymore. So from here on out, I'm probably going to gain some people and I'm probably going to lose some people. But the people that stay are going to be my kind of people. But I'm ready to say that Lohla, my 2016 1SS Camaro, very soon will be one of the best, if not the best, well-rounded, capable, reliable, high horsepower 6th-gen Camaros in the country. I know there's guys out there that are tubing them and pulling interior out and drag racing them into the 8s, and I get that. And I admire those guys, I do. Those are great cars. I admire the hell out of you for spending the time or the money or both or whatever it is for going and doing what you're doing with your cars. But I feel like with what my car will be, it will be the best at it. You know, you watch commercials about Ford and Chevy saying they outsell each other every year and you wonder how they do it. And obviously there's a little bit of creativity applied to their metric. So if it sounds like I'm trying to make my metric or my niche really small to make my car the best at that, that's probably true a little bit. But I really feel like power, suspension, durability, longevity, all those things combined, JDP Motorsports is as capable as anyone in the country at building as good a car as you can want to build. And I feel like my approach to this car has been such that, and JDP's approach to this car has been such that I firmly believe this Camaro will be the baddest bitch around very, very soon. Pardon my language. It just worked for the scenario. It's going to be a monster. It's going to be 900 to 1,000 wheel on the turbos. No, it won't be the fastest quarter-mile car. No, it won't be the fastest road course car. No, it won't be the fastest autocross car. It won't have the fastest top speed, but I'll have a faster top speed than Hennessy's Camaro. I'll be in the running for some of the fastest cars at the events that I go to, even though I suck at driving. And I will have a car that, in my opinion, is as valuable or more valuable than almost any 6th-gen available on the market. And I will never sell this car. For those of you guys that know me, and for those of you who don't, I'll just touch on something. I'm 36 years old. I'll be 37 this year. I have done the numbers, and I have owned over 30 vehicles since I was 16 years old. I don't keep cars. I spend my money on cars, and I've always been in the car industry, in dealerships and in body shops, and it's just since I was 18 to now, that's all I've ever done is cars in some facet or another, save for a short stint where I was in casinos in Vegas for a while. But that's all I've ever done is cars, and that's what I love is cars, and I've had a lot of them. And so for me to have had this car for 2 years now, going on 2.5 years, and not have any desire to get rid of it, that's a pretty big deal for me. And I love this car. It's going to be a dang nice car, and I'm hoping that this car is also going to be a platform that some other people can build off of. I'm not saying this is the only way to build your Camaro and build it fast. I know there's a lot of different ways you could skin a cat. Sorry for the animal rights activists, we'll do that over. I know there's a lot of different ways you can approach things, but I do feel like JDP has a very, very solid recipe to late model GM performance. They have been building and beating the hell out of late model GM vehicles for the past 10 years. And like I say, they know what breaks, they're out testing them, they're tried and true. I've seen Jordan and the guys down at JDP talk people out of a lot of stuff that they wanted to spend money on that JDP could have taken their money and sold it to them. And they they do things different. They do things the right way. They build a dang good car, and they're the reason I'm confident in saying that. Not because of my thought process, not because of anything I've done to the car, but because I have very good counsel from them, and I have very good support from my wife and family, and I'm done letting the naysayers hold me back. I'm Jared Royce, this is RedRacer Video, and this Camaro is going to be one of the baddest Camaros on the planet once we've got twin turbos in this thing. Thank you guys. I appreciate every one of you. I feel like we are going to be at 2,000 subscribers when I upload my next video, and I want that to be in only 3 or 4 days. So please, share with your friends, hit the like and subscribe buttons down below, leave a comment, let me know what I'm doing good, let me know what I'm sucking at. Your feedback is valuable, invaluable, really. Well, thank you guys for watching. Twin turbos are going in shortly. Jared, RedRacer Video. We'll catch you on the next one.